So if red wine is served at room temperature, you hold it by the bowl so that your body temperature goes into the wine. Hello and welcome to my kitchen. Today we are going to learn English vocabulary that is relevant inside a kitchen. And not only the basic vocabulary, I'm also going to tell you about maybe some etiquettes. What are different types of plates, different types of spoons? What's the difference between one thing and another? Lots of fun, lots of learning, and let's see what we have here. Okay, first thing is this glass water dispenser. Some people also call it a canister. I don't like drinking water out of plastic, so this is my favorite glass dispenser. These are cabinets and I'm going to open them and show them to you. Okay, so the first cabinet has my crockery. Now, crockery is a word that you need to know, which is about plates and the glassware, etc. that we eat in. This is crockery. And you tell me what is cutlery, I will tell you in some time. But let's talk about this. This is a full-size dinner plate. This is about 10 inches or 12 inches big. This is called a side plate or a quarter plate. It's placed on the side. Now, there are two kinds of soup bowls that I have. This is a soup plate. If you see, it's a big plate. And this is a soup bowl. And if you notice, this pretty looking thing is a serving platter or a starter plate. You can put some starters or appetizers in it and take it to your guests. And your guests can eat inside this small snack plate. So it's a little smaller than the side plate, but you can use the side plate also for snacks. Okay, so these cabinets all have my crockery and these are the serving dishes. This is also bakeware. Sometimes I bake like a casserole inside it. Okay, now I'm going to show you different types of spoons and I have them all laid out here. This big one is a wooden spoon. This is a ladle. You've seen it to pour out some liquids. This is a spatula. Sometimes you turn your dosa or your omelette with it. This fellow is an ice cream scooper, our favorite spoon. And this one is chopsticks. You know how to use them sometimes, do you? I'll teach you in another video. Tell me if you want to learn how to use chopsticks. Okay, I have a lot of spoons here. This big one is used for serving. On the dining table inside the dish, you can put either this or even something like this. Okay, this is called a tablespoon. Now, a tablespoon is typically 15 milliliters. And you could maybe eat with this. Again, it's about 10 milliliters. You could use this for eating. And this fellow is a teaspoon. Actually, it's called a teaspoon, but I use a smaller spoon for my tea. I don't like to have very strong tea. So this is about 5 milliliters. And I use an even smaller spoon, and this teeny tiny one is 2 or 3 milliliters, and this is actually called a coffee spoon. It's very tiny. You can see when you look at the teaspoon and the coffee spoon. By the way, did you know that there are teaspoon and coffee spoon are different and that coffee spoon is smaller? Well, I learned as well. There are different types of forks. I have dropped one. Different types of forks. I use the small one to eat, and maybe I'll use the big one if I want to put it into the serving platter. And of course, there is the butter knife. There are different types of knives depending on if you're eating a steak. This one is for putting butter on the toast. And these are my pretty looking jars. You know, I used to learn decoupage. It's a form of art, so I have made these on my own. See these little crystals? This is for sugar. And because this has flowers, so leaves and flowers, it's like my tea leaf. And this has coffee beans on it, and so this is for my coffee. I made all of these on my own. So remember I asked you the difference between crockery and cutlery? So crockery was all that glassware, plates, etc. And cutlery was all the spoons and knives and forks that I showed you some time back. Now we're going to talk about glassware. And if I show you this, I have a lot of cups here and more cups here, and I have glasses up there in the other cabinets. I'm going to tell you the different types of glasses, okay? So this, I think you may know, is a wine glass. There are also different ways of holding wine, you know that? So if red wine is served at room temperature, you hold it by the bowl so that your body temperature goes into the wine. But if it is supposed to be white wine and it is served chilled, then you hold it here so that you don't warm up the wine. Clever, isn't it? So this is my wine glass. This is the flute, it's called. It's a champagne glass. Now I don't recommend that you drink at all. Please, I don't drink. But sometimes we need to keep all of this to serve our guests, and I just need to show you, and you need to know what is what. Okay, this tall fellow is my smoothie glass. I love having my little ice cream smoothies and stuff. So that's what I have in this. This is used sometimes for mocktails, or it's multi-purpose. You can serve any drink in it. Then this I tend to use for like brandy based drinks, if you have any. It just looks fancier. And this you all know, you've seen it before. It's a good old beer mug. There are different types of beer mugs, and this is one. Here it goes. Okay. Now this is a tinier one. If you see this wine glass was taller and this is tinier. You can either serve cognac in it. Sometimes I also serve some desserts in it, make a little tiny dessert and give it in individual platters. People quite like that. Now, these two glasses, you can use a squarish one like this for whiskey. If you're serving whiskey, you can use it for water also. I use this one for water, which is a little rounded, but you can use them. It doesn't matter. And these two are shot glasses. Once again, I don't recommend you drink. I'm repeating it, but in case you need to know what this is. Different types of shot glasses. This I picked up, I think, on one of my trips. It says Abu Dhabi on it. Okay, and this is my morning juice. In one of the videos I told you I get up in the morning and have an ABC juice. I have it in this big glass. And now I'm going to talk about tea and coffee, which is my favorite drink. So this is a teapot. It's a little pretty looking thing. My mother-in-law gave it to me, and I really like it. And it comes with these kind of tiny cups. Now, I know most of us are not drinking tea or coffee in these tiny cups. But this is something like the Turkish coffee, People drink Turkish coffee in these tiny cups. This is my teacup. This is what I drink, and you've probably seen it in many videos. Every morning, this big mug of tea, well, it's a big cup, is what I drink tea in. This is what I use for serving tea or coffee both, because usually guests, they don't like having so much chai, which I like. So then I give them like a smaller cup and they feel better with this. Or sometimes they tell me, give me a really small cup, and then at that time I serve it in this. This is nice for both tea and coffee if you want to serve like 100, this would be typically 150 ml. This one might be more like 300 ml, I'm thinking, and this one could be in the region of 250 ml, so that's the difference between the cups. And then sometimes I like to give that original kullar flavor, in India we call it kullar. I don't know what the name is in English, but if you know the name for kullar in English, drop me a message below. So that's my tea and coffee and the glasses and the plates and the forks and the knives. There's a lot more inside my kitchen. I'm going to take you in next time. And if you want me to cover all the appliances and all the other kind of spoons and serving and woks and platters, and I'm going to leave you with a question. What is the difference between a sieve, a sifter, a colander, and a perforated spoon? Okay? Leave me a message below, and if you want the answer to this question, tell me. I'll make another video in my kitchen. And in the meantime, happy learning and see you next Friday.